I'm here at the Park House today, and I have several folks here at the house looking at things, giving me reports, doing some investigation to figure out what it's going to cost and what we need to do to repair a lot of the work here. So I've got a window restoration expert who is here. These windows are the original windows to the 1935 house, and we want to keep those original windows. So he is here actually taking a look at what we might need to do to fix the windows. We want to make them operable again. We want to do a little bit of energy efficiency to try to air seal so that they're not quite so leaky, and in the wintertime and in the summertime. You might hear a lot of folks talking about replacing old windows for energy efficiency, but honestly, a lot of research has been done to say that that's not the best bang for your buck, especially in a really old house like this. This was built in 1935, and we're going to spend a lot of money to put insulation in the house, which is going to give us a good return to make it a more comfortable house. But to replace all the windows in here, I mean, these are big windows, and there's a lot of windows. It might be $20,000 or $30,000 to replace the windows. And for the amount of energy that you might save with new windows here, I mean, maybe a couple of $100s a year, it's just not worth it. And so we're going to try and save these windows. Plus, this is a historic district, so the Historic Society wants to see these old windows stay in place. And I do too. I don't want to take them out and toss them into the landfill and just increase demand for new products. So use what you have. If you've got them, use them. They're beautiful windows. The craftsmanship is amazing. So we're going to keep the windows and just repair them and make them functional again. So one of the other things that we're doing is all of this plaster and drywall in this house is going to come down because, like I said, we're going to add insulation. So on the exterior walls, we need to add insulation into the house, and that will significantly increase the comfort of the house. We're going to add insulation in the walls, we're going to add insulation in the floor, we're going to add insulation in the attic. And those are things that this house has never had. But we will be taking down the plaster on the walls, and at some point somebody put drywall on top of the plaster. So I actually have an asbestos tester here today, and he is taking samples of the walls. So at some point the industry was using asbestos fibers in the plaster, and there could be asbestos in the mud that was used on top of the drywall as well. So before we start taking any of that down, before I expose any workers to the dangers of asbestos, we have an expert here who's going to take a few samples of the wall and get them tested to make sure that we, well, it'd be nice if we didn't have asbestos, but if we do, then we go about it the proper way to remove that asbestos. And then the other person here today is a foundation expert. So you probably can't tell from the videos, but when I first walked into this house, you can immediately see that the house just sags and dips in the middle. I mean, you kind of feel like a drunk person when you're walking around this house. It's pretty bad. And so we have, during the due diligence period, when I was first buying the house, I actually paid for a structural engineer to come out and take a look. And that is so worth the money there, because it gave me a sense of like, what is the extent of work that needs to happen? How much what are some ranges of costs that it might take? And I was actually able to take that structural report to the sellers and say, look, this is the damage. This is what it's going to cost to repair it. Can you help us out on the price a little bit? And the previous owners, they saw the vision for the house, and they tried to do some of the work in the foundation, but honestly, I don't think that they really knew what they were doing. And so we're going to have to sort of undo a lot of their work and do it properly. We're going to have to put in new piers. The original wood for the floor system is undersized, and it's just been sagging over the years. So a foundation expert out here today too, and he's taken a look at what it's going to take to build those new piers and to reinforce the floor system and to hopefully lift it a couple of inches in places so that we, it's not going to be perfect. It's an old house, and but we want to get it to it so that it's at least a little bit better than it currently is. So if you are, if you're working on a house, if you've got an old house in particular, just take your time, get your experts out, have them look at the house, have them give you bids and talk to you about what the options are and what it's going to take to renovate it. And it'll do wonders for you in the long run. Thanks.